Commander ZYX Thala's mandibles clicked in amusement as she studied the holographic display floating before her. The small blue-green sphere rotated slowly, its primitive landmasses clearly visible through swirling white clouds. Around the circular war table, her fellow generals shared in the mockery, their various alien forms shaking with laughter. This is what High Command considers a threat. General Korthak's voice rumbled through his translator unit, his massive crystalline form pulsing with orange light. A backwater planet in the outer rim of an insignificant galaxy? The inhabitants haven't even achieved faster-than-light travel, added General Vexnara, her serpentine body coiling around her command chair. Our scouts report they still use chemical propulsion to escape their gravity well. How quaint. The laughter intensified as more reconnaissance data scrolled across their neural interfaces. The planet's dominant species, bipedal carbon-based creatures calling themselves humans, had barely managed to establish a few primitive outposts on their own moon. Their weapons technology remained embarrassingly crude explosive projectiles and basic energy weapons that would be useless against even the lightest Dominion armor. Look at this, ZYX Thala gestured toward the data stream. They're still fighting amongst themselves over territorial disputes. They haven't even unified their own planet, yet alone pose any threat to our expansion. The Dominion's conquest of this galactic sector had been methodical and swift. 47 star systems had fallen in the past decade, their civilizations either absorbed into the Empire or reduced to ash. This small blue world Earth, as its inhabitants called it, was meant to be nothing more than a footnote in their grand campaign. The preliminary invasion fleet should make quick work of them, Korthak declared, his crystalline limbs refracting the light from the hologram. 3 dreadnoughts, a dozen cruisers, and support vessels. Honestly, it's overkill for such a primitive world. But their casual confidence was about to be shattered. The first report arrived during what should have been a routine briefing. Lieutenant Kexmori, a young intelligence officer from the Arcturus sector, approached the war table with visible unease. His usually composed demeanor had cracked, revealing something that made ZYX Thala's primary heart skip a beat: fear. Commanders, he began, his voice trembling through the translator. We've received initial contact reports from the advance scouts. Excellent, Vexnara hissed, her scales shifting to a pleased golden hue. How long before the primitives surrender? Kexmori's chromatic patterns flickered uncertainly. That's the problem, generals. They haven't surrendered. In fact, they've destroyed reconnaissance ship Alpha 7. The laughter died instantly. Impossible, Korthak's light dimmed to a shocked amber. Our scouts were operating with full stealth. Protocols. Those humans can barely detect objects beyond their own solar system. The debris analysis is concerning, Kexmori continued, his tentacles trembling as he transmitted the data. The human vessel that engaged Alpha 7 was roughly 1/10 its size, using what appeared to be improvised weapon systems. They somehow bypassed our shields and struck our fusion core directly. The holographic display shifted, showing grainy footage from the destroyed scout ship's final moments. A small, angular vessel, clearly of human design but unlike anything in their intelligence files, had appeared from nowhere. Its weapons fired in rapid succession, each shot somehow finding the exact vulnerabilities in the Dominion ship's defenses. That's not their standard technology, ZYX Thala observed, her confidence wavering. Our intelligence indicated they barely understood quantum mechanics. The next report arrived an hour later, then another, and another. Each one painted an increasingly disturbing picture. The humans weren't just defending themselves, they were hunting. Within the span of 3 solar days, 7 more Dominion vessels had gone silent. Not destroyed in glorious battle, but simply vanishing. Their advanced sensors detected the ships entering Earth's solar system, then nothing. No distress calls, no debris fields, no trace of what had happened. How is this possible? Vexnara demanded, her serpentine form coiled tight with stress. We've conquered civilizations with technology thousands of years more advanced than theirs. The answer came from an unexpected source, the humans themselves. A transmission reached the Dominion fleet broadcast on frequencies they hadn't known the primitives could access. The image that appeared on their screens showed a human male, middle-aged by their species standards, sitting calmly behind what appeared to be a primitive desk. His expression was neither hostile nor afraid, merely patient. "Greetings," the human said in perfect Dominion standard, though no translator should have been capable of such precision. "I am Director James Harrison of Earth Defense Coordination. I believe you gentlemen and ladies are looking for your missing ships." The three generals exchanged glances. Somehow, this primitive creature knew about their losses. "Before you proceed with whatever invasion plans you've prepared," Harrison continued, "I thought it might be beneficial to have a conversation. You see, we've been watching your expansion across this sector for some time now. We've seen what you do to civilizations that surrender, and what you do to those that resist conventionally." The camera pulled back slightly, revealing multiple screens behind the human showing detailed intelligence on Dominion fleet movements, ship specifications, and tactical formations, information that should have been impossible for them to acquire. "So we chose a third option," Harrison smiled, the expression somehow more terrifying than any battle cry. "We adapted." The transmission shifted to show what remained of the Dominion reconnaissance vessels. They hadn't been destroyed, they had been systematically dismantled, their crews gone, their technology absorbed and reverse-engineered with impossible speed. "Your ships are quite impressive," Harrison noted conversationally. "Though we've made some improvements. Would you like to see?" Before any of the generals could respond, their own sensors began screaming warnings. Ships were decloaking around their fleet, dozens of them, bearing human design elements but incorporating Dominion technology in ways that defied understanding. They had been surrounded without ever knowing it. "Now then," Harrison's voice continued calmly, "shall we discuss terms? I think you'll find that we're quite reasonable negotiators. After all, this is that small blue planet you were so amused by. And as you can see, we've been waiting for you." Commander ZYX Thala stared at the transmission screen, her mandibles no longer clicking with amusement. Around the war table, her fellow generals sat in stunned silence, finally understanding that they had gravely miscalculated. The small blue planet hadn't been unprepared for their arrival. It had been preparing for them all along. The humans, it seemed, had mastered the most dangerous art in the galaxy, patience coupled with adaptation. And now, surrounded by their own technology turned against them, the Dominion generals realized they were no longer the hunters. They had become the prey.